Happy Thursday to everybody. Hope you are doing well on this Thursday. We are at the next to last game on July the 7th. We're on the West Coast here in Anaheim, California. Boston Red Sox, California Angels. Game number 572 overall in the replay. Angel Stadium is symmetrical. Singles are 1 to 5, home runs 1 to 12. California won this game real world 9 to 4. One minor roster move by the Red Sox. Rich Gedman either got injured or I'm assuming he got injured. I'm assuming it's an injury, but he's not on the roster. So they brought up backup catcher Danny Schaefer from AAA, and he will be the backup too. And that's just the one minor roster move. Not going to make a whole lot of difference, I don't think. Boston 36-46 on the replay. California 40-43. Pitching matchup, two right-handers, Al Nipper and Mike Witt will be going at it. We'll look at Nipper later in the bottom of the first. Right now, we'll concentrate on Mike Witt as he is the pitcher coming up. And, of course, he holds the distinction of having my only no-hitter in Strat-O-Matic. So he got that earlier in the season, not that long ago, actually. So Mike Witt is certainly a fine pitcher. In 1987, he was 16-14 with a 4.01 ERA real world. And I'll bring up the Strat computer. I was getting tabby straight and getting my coffee straight. I forgot to bring up the Strat computer, so we will be doing that very shortly. While that's going on, Witt is a -5 on his hold. He's a -2, but Bob Boone's a -3. So that will give him the benefit of the -5. Now we'll go to the computer and get his replay stats. Compare those with his real world stats. Tomorrow, to finish out the week, we'll be in Oakland for Detroit against Oakland. And now we go to the computer and get Mike Witt's replay stats. Again, real world, he was 16-14 with a 4.01 ERA. In the replay, he is 8-5, ERA of 3.57. And let me see I don't think it was his last start that was a no-hitter. Let me see his game log here. Oh, it was his last start, July 2nd. His last start was the no-hitter that he had. So, and that was against the Brewers of all people. So, Mike Witt coming off his no-hit performance, and this is his first start since that no-hit performance. He's a wild pitch of 5 and a balk of 0. Ellis Burks will lead off for the Red Sox, center fielder. Burks is hitting .289, 9 homers, 23 driven in on the replay, .272 real world. Hello, Jeremiah, Dr. D, and Dan. Good to see all of you here on this Thursday morning. And before the first pitch, of course, we have the ceremonial first sip. And that is some good coffee. All right, so Ellis Burks in there against Mike Witt, and away we go. 2-7, and that is a strikeout. Mike Witt gets the strikeout of Burks, 1 away. And that'll take us to Marty Barrett. Barrett at second base, hitting .309 on the replay. No homers, 24 driven in. He hit .293 real world. He did hit 3 home runs real world, has yet to get one in roughly half his at bat. So maybe in the second half, we'll manage to get a home run along the way to get those 3 home runs. He's got weak power both sides. So the only places he's going to get home runs, and they're very limited. And it looks like, let's see, where does he actually get the home run? I'm trying to look on his card and see where he's actually going to get a home run from. Oh, right here. This is the only place. He must hit all 3 home runs against. I'm sorry, no, he's got a home run here and a home run here. Okay, it must have been split across, but probably 2 of the homers came against lefties and 1 against righties or something like that. I don't know. But 1/8 or his only chance to roll a 1/8, and the split has to come up to get the home run. So He hasn't got any yet. He had 3 real world. 6-9, and that is a solid single for Marty Barrett. And of course, with that -5 hold and the big boys coming up, Barrett's not going to try to get a lead. He'll stay put. And here is Wade Boggs. Wade Boggs hitting .363 on the replay. 16 homers, 45 driven in. And oh, by the way, he hit .363 real world. So he's right on pace. 111. And that's a single, 2 stars, anti-clutch, but we're not in a clutch situation. So it's going to be a 2-star single. And that will put runners at the corners. So it certainly won't be any no-hitter today for Mike Witt, that's for sure. He's got his hands full here in the first inning. Runners at the corners, 1 out for Jim Rice, left fielder. Rice on the replay is hitting .254, 6 homers, 37 driven in. He hit .277 real world. For 1-5, and that's a fly to center with a question mark. So there's a possibility that Barrett could tag up and score here. In fact, there's a good chance he can tag up and score. He's a 15. When there's a question mark on the result, you add 2, makes it a 17. And then the outfitter arm is a +1 for Pettis. So it's a 1-18. So it's a pretty good chance he's going to score here. 1-18, we got a sacrifice fly. And we do. So sacrifice fly for Jim Rice, and that will score Barrett, and the Red Sox are out in front 1-0 here in the top of the first. RBI number 38 on the season for Jim Rice. And that'll bring up Mike Greenwell. He was doing the DHing duties today, giving Don Baylor the game off. So Mike Greenwell is your DH. Greenwell on the replay is hitting .280, 12 homers, 30 driven in. He hit .328 in the real season. 6-6 lefty struck him out. Mike Witt gets his second strikeout, but the Red Sox jump out in front 1-0. Of course, California won the real game 9-4, but of course we're early. So half an inning is in the books, and it's Boston 1, California coming to bat. And jump baller Al Nipper will be on the mound for the Red Sox. Al Nipper on the season, 11-12 with a 5.43 ERA. That's what he did in the 87 season. On the replay, he's 5-8 with a 6.73 earned run average, so not quite as good. 100 innings pitched, 132 hits, 41 walks, and 63 strikeouts for Al Nipper. So now Brian Downing, the designated hitter, will lead things off for California. Good morning, Jason. Hope you're doing well. Downing, 3-10. And that's a ground ball to short, and Spike Owen will make that play easily. 1 down. And that'll send up Devon White, right fielder. White is hitting .291 on the replay, 14 homers, 53 driven in. He hit .263 in the real season. 6-5 switch hitter batting left. That's an in-home run chance, 1-18, and he's got the power. 1-18, we got a tie game. And that is gone. Devon White just ties this game. Home run number 15 on the season for Devon White. He had 24 real world. This is home run number 15, RBI number 54. And the game is tied that quickly at 1 apiece. And that'll bring up Wally World, Wally Joyner. Joyner hitting .322 on the replay, 20 homers, 61 driven in. He hit .295 real world. 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X, Spike Owen, 3E17. First X chance of the game. 3-16 is fine. And only errors on the E17 are 15, 16, and 17. And that's a 5. Rare play, but with nobody on base, it's never a rare play in Strat-O-Matic. It's just a ball bouncing off the pitcher's mound or whatever. That's some kind of jump they come up with. So 2 away. And that'll take us to cleanup hitter, Jack Howell, left fielder. Howell on the replay, hitting 273, 8 homers, 25 driven in. Hit 245 real world. 1-8 for Howell and struck him out. So Nipper gets the strikeout, but at the end of one, we are tied at 1 apiece here at Anaheim Stadium. Angel Stadium, whatever you want to call it. Back to the top of the second for Dewey Evans. Evans on the replay is hitting 350, so he's definitely bucking for All-Star honors in the All-Star game coming up. Hit 350, 19 homers, 59 driven in. He hit 305 real world. I assume he was an All-Star in real world too. I didn't look it up. 1-7, and that is a 1-8 double, 9-20 single. That's going to be a base hit for Dwight Evans. Base hit for Evans, and that's going to bring up Billy Buck. Bill Buckner, that's a 2, and ironically, Bill Buckner will get traded to California later in the season. So a 2 there, it's balk or pass ball possibility. We're looking at a balk. Balk rating on Witt is a 0, so no chance of a balk. Go to Buckner. 4-9, and that's a 1 for a triple. You know Buckner's not getting a triple, so it's going to be a double all the way around. But I'll roll the number just for the heck of it. Even if it rolled a 1, there's no way. Well, Buckner did have 2 triples. It runs at an 8, but somehow he had 2 triples. I don't get that. So we would have given him a triple because he only had 1 in the replay so far. But it's a double for Buckner. And the double is assumed to go to center field when it's that way and never defined. So Evans runs at a 12, Knocking Hill's a 13, plus 1's a 14. But with nobody out, I think the wise move there is just to hold him up at third base, especially with nobody out. So second and third, nobody out. And that brings up shortstop Spike Owen. Owen hitting 230 on the replay, a homer and 15 driven in. He hit 259 real world. Infield for the Angels is back with the seeing nobody out. That is a 5-6, and that's going to be a strikeout for Mike Witt, a big one too. Strikeout number 3 on the game. Oops, didn't move Owen, but it doesn't matter because it's off the pitcher card anyway. So now here comes Mark Sullivan. The infield is now in with 1 out against Mr. Sullivan, the weak hitting catcher. Sullivan hitting 196 on the replay, 4 homers, 19 driven in. He hit 169 real world. Infield is in, 3-7, but he struck him out. Strikeout number 4. And now maybe they should have sent Dwight Evans if you knew the other guys were going to strike out. But now it's Ellis Burks in a clutch situation with 2 outs. And in the clutch, he loses hits on 1-9, 1-10, 2-8, and 2-12. That's a 2 again. Witt 6 this time's a pass ball on Sullivan, on Boone, which is a 3. And it is a pass ball on Boone. That's going to score the run. Bob Boone, lack of concentration, doesn't usually do things like that, but that one got away from him. And that's going to be an unearned run. Coming across the plate. 2-1 Red Sox lead. Going to third is Buckner. And Burks back up again. 3-10 for Burks. He's going to fly to right to end the inning. But the pass ball brings home an unearned run. And the Red Sox reclaim the lead 2-1. We go to the bottom of the second. And coming up for the Angels will be DeSensei, Boone, and Schofield against Mr. Nipper. And I'm trying to think. I might have asked this one time before, but I believe Nipper was the name of the RCA dog on the old records, old 45 records. Used to have a dog there that would watch the phonograph. That was the picture they put on the inside of the 45. And I believe the dog's name was Nipper, but I could be wrong. You're asking me to go way back in my memory, which is not a good thing. Hello, RN. Good to see you. All right, so Doug DeSensei hitting 253 on the replay, 11 homers, 39 driven in, 234 real world. It's a 112, and that's a low max plus injury, so Doug DeSensei, a chance he's going to be hurt. As he lines at the box, now we'll check for the injury. 1 to 6, he can stay in the game. 7 or higher, he's got to come out. And he will have to come out, and the Angels will have to make some defensive moves. They could move Jack Howell to third base and bring in that's what they're going to have to do. They have no other infielders. So Jack Howell will move from left field to third base. And then we'll need a new left fielder. And the new left fielder is going to be Rupert Jones. So Rupert Jones will take over in DeSensei's spot and play left field. And let's see, let's get some defense numbers here for Rupert Jones. He is a 3.0 E12, running at a 13. And then we'll fix Jack Howell's third base numbers. His third base numbers, he is a 3E16 as a third baseman now. All right, so one Jones comes into play left field in the third inning. All right. So that will bring up Bob Boone. Boone, the catcher, hitting 222 on the replay. 1 homer, 12 driven inning at 242 real world. 6'8", and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Spike Owen, a 3E17. 3 and 10, he'll get to it. He's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17, which he does. Good play for Spike Owen. 2 up, 2 down for Dick Schofield, shortstop. Schofield hitting 235 on the replay, 6 homers, 29 driven in. He hit 251 real world. 6-7, and that is a walk. First base on balls issued by Nipper. Schofield might be looking to run. Nipper's got a +4. He's a +4 arm or hold, and Sullivan's a 0 arm. So Schofield's going to be looking to run if he can get the good lead. He needs a 4 or a 5. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. I'll bring up Gary Pettis, center fielder. Pettis hitting 225, no homers, 24 driven in. He hit 208 real world. 4-7, and that's a base hit. 1 to 6 is a double. 7 to 20 is a single. 2 stars both ways. And that'll be a single for Gary Pettis. Schofield will move over to third. Now they're 2 away. Runners at the corners. And it's going to be all up to Mark McLemore in a clutch situation. McLemore in the clutch will lose a couple of hits, 2-9 and 2-10. That's a 2, so balk or pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance on Nipper, which again is a 0. McLemore hitting 266 on the replay, 3 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 236 real world. Pettis could look to run, but with 2 outs, I think they're going to keep him at, well, you know what? Pettis is such a good base runner. I think it's worth the gamble. He needs a 5 or a 6 to get the jump. Doesn't get it, so it doesn't matter. So he'll stand pat, and here is McLemore. 210 for McLemore, and he hit one of the anti-clutches. We'll talk about his clutch or anti-clutch numbers, and that 210, you see the little upside-down horseshoe there, or not upside down, it is a horseshoe, I guess, or upside-down horseshoe. It's also known as an omega symbol, which is the anti-clutch. So the 210 against right-handers would have been a single. Instead, it's going to be a pop-up to second base, and the Angels will leave runners on the corners and come away empty-handed. So we go to the third. It's still 2-1 Boston. And now on the computer, I'm going to need to make changes on the computer. based on the injury. So we will bring Rupert Jones in to play left field, and Jones will hit in the spot formerly held by the Sensei. And Jack Howell will move from left field to third base. And now we're straight. And Mike Witt facing off against Marty Barrett. Hello, Aaron, and hello, SOM. Good to see you. Some new faces that I don't recognize. 210. Let's pop out to second base. Barrett is out of there. One away. And, of course, here comes Wade Boggs doing Wade Boggs things. Had a single in the first inning. 4-4. This time, though, he'll draw a walk. That's something else Wade Boggs did a lot, was walk. With the very good eye that he had. Drew 100. He had a walk for 105 times in his 87 season. And I believe that's the first walk for Mike Witt. Boggs, one thing he doesn't do very well is run, so he's not going to go anywhere. And left fielder Jim Rice, he had a sacrifice fly his first time up. 3-11, and that is a fly ball to center field, 2 down. So it's going to be up to Greenwell to keep the inning going. Greenwell struck out his first chance. Boggs still stationed at first. That is a 1-7 for Greenwell, and that's a ground ball to second, and that will do it. The walk, but nothing else. We go to the bottom of the third. Still a 2-1 Red Sox lead. And that lead was gained on a rare pass ball by Bob Boone that allowed the go-ahead run to score. Nipper back out. He'll face the top of the order, Brian Downing. Downing grounded to short his first trip. 2-6, and this time he gets a base hit. A little Omega symbol again, but of course he's leading off the inning. There is no clutch situation to worry about. So Downing a leadoff single, but he's not much. He's one of the rare leadoff guys that you don't really see run, so not much of a worry there. Devon White is an A bunter, but he's also a very good hitter. In fact, he homered his last time up, so I don't want to take the bat out of his hands by bunting. We're just going to have him hit 2 possible balk or pass ball. We're looking at a possible balk, but again, his balk is a 0. So here's the pitch to White, 4-7, and that's why we don't bunt. 4-7 is a 1-6 for a double. 7-20 is a single. Bunt, one of the worst plays in baseball, besides the hit and run. There's a base hit with runners on the corners. Nobody out. And now Devon White can look to run and steal second base. He's got a good chance to do that. He needs a 3 through 6 to get the good lead. And he gets that good lead. He's an 18. Being held as a 16, but the +4 is a 20. Question is, does Sullivan want to throw through? The only way to get him is on a 20. If he has a throwing error, it's a T4, so it's not too bad of a risk. So they'll throw through. And he almost got him, but Devon White makes it. That takes the double play out of the equation and puts 2 runners in scoring position for Mr. Wally World. Wally Joyner up. Let's look and see what that is for Devon White on his stolen bases and see how we're doing on the replay stolen bases versus the actual stolen bases. Devon White, real world, stole 32 bases, got caught 11 times. This stolen base was number 15. He's been caught 4. So that's about where you expect him to be halfway through the season. Infield is going to be back with nobody out for Wally Joyner. That's a 1-5, and that's going to be a ground ball first base A, but with it going to the corners, I don't believe the runner scores, but I will double check it with the rule book just to make sure that I'm not reading something incorrectly or remembering something incorrectly. If I can find my rule book, I just had it a second ago. It's in here somewhere. There it is. Let me just double check it, but I do believe a ground ball A. Look, and this is what I'm looking at. It's this chart right here. Bring this up so you guys can see it. I know you guys can see it here. Ground ball A. All right, so it's second and third, infield back. So that is the next to last thing right here. We're talking right here. Ground ball A is a 5. It's got the number 5 there. 5 says, if hit to second or short, batter out, runners advance. Otherwise, batter hold. So since it was hit to first, runner has to hold. So Joyner grounds it to Buckner, but since it was hit to first, the runner on third, Downing, did not break. He will hold and keeps things at second and third with 1 out for Jack Howell, who is now at third base. And now the infield will come in with 1 out. As Nipper faces Howell. Howell struck out his first chance. 1-8 for Howell. He's going to strike out once more. And for Nipper, that's his second strikeout. He's gotten Howell twice. And Nipper trying to pitch out of the mess. Clutch situation now for the new hitter, Rupert Jones. His first at bat. What a good time to have Rupert Jones to have his first at bat is in a big clutch situation. But for him, he enjoys that because he's got hits coming his way. 1-5, 110, and 3-6 are all hits for Rupert Jones. Jones on the replay hitting 229, 5 homers, 9 driven in at 245 real world. That's a 4-8, and Jones is going to come through. It's off Nipper's card, but he's still going to come through. 1-4 is a triple, 5-20 is a double. That is a double for Rupert Jones, a 2-run double for Rupert Jones, and the Angels take the lead. So Rupert Jones paying dividends in his first at bat. And California has grabbed the lead right back at 3-2. I'll bring up Bob Boone. Clutch situation for Boone. And he will lose a hit on 212 and 3-8. So Nipper to Boone with Jones at second base. 2-8, and that is a fly to center to end the inning. But the 2-run double from Rupert Jones puts the Angels in the lead, 3-2, as we head to the 4th inning. And they've given a lead to Mike Witt. It'll be Evans, Buckner, and Owen due up. And I don't know why I just had a hee-haw reference in front of me, but I'm looking at Buck and Owen right here. Of course, I grew up listening to Buck Owens and hee-haw. That was the only, we had one TV, so you watched what your parents watched when you were a kid. You had no options. So I had to suffer through that. But anyway, I just saw that I saw these names together and just that flash went in my head. And I don't know why it just did. Here's White. Oh, let's finish off Boone's at bat. Fly to center. Now here is Dewey Evans. 1-7, and that is a double 1-8, single 1-9. And that's a double for Dwight Evans. He is singled and now he is doubled. Back come the Red Sox. Comes Billy Buck. Buckner doubled his first time up. 2-7 for Buckner. He's going to line up it right to Mr. Joyner for out number 1. 1 down, and that's going to send us to Spike Owen. 5-8, switch hitter batting left. That's a split. 1-3 is a single. 4-20, he lines out. And that's a liner right to McLemore for out number 2. So Witt trying to pitch around this leadoff double. Clutch situation now for Mark Sullivan, the number 9 hitter catcher. And he actually doesn't have a clutch situation against right-handers. He does against lefties, but not against righties. 1-9, and that is a ground ball to short. And Mike Witt pitches around that leadoff double. Keeps the Angels in the lead 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. And Mr. Dickey Schofield will lead things off for the Angels. Bottom third of the order, Schofield, Pettis, and McLemore due up against Mr. Nipper. Schofield walked his first time up. 3-8 for Schofield. He's going to walk once again. Second walk issued by Nipper, and both of them have gone to Schofield, just like his 2 strikeouts have gone to Howell. And again, Schofield's going to try for the lead. Needs a 4 or a 5 to establish a good lead. Doesn't get it. So he will hold, and here's Gary Pettis. 1-2, and it's a ground ball, second base A. That is a 4-6-3 Giovanni's Taylor shop. Tailor-made double play. Let's look at it close up and personal. A 1-2 on Gary Pettis is that ground ball, second base A. The plus is irrelevant because the infield is not doing anything. It's regular. It's a double play depth, so it will be a 4-6-3 double play. 4-6-3 double play sponsored by Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in that area and have tailoring needs, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They're the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. Two quick outs, and Mark McLemore, the batter. One 7, and that is a strikeout to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Angels. We go to the top of the 5th. It is still 3-2 California. And top of the order coming up for the Red Sox, it'll be the 3 Bs, Burks, Barrett, and Boggs. There's Burks, 3-10. That's a fly to right. 1 down. And they'll send up Marty Barrett. 4-10, and that's an in-home run chance, but he has weak power, so no home run. But a 1-7 will be a single. 8-20 is a double. That'll be a base hit. That would have been a home run, but Barrett with the weak power, so does not get the home run, but he does get a chance to get a lead, although Mike Witt is a -5. But with 1 out, he might take that chance. He needs a 4. It's the only way he can have it. And he gets the 4. Wow, that's pretty good. He got the 4 right there he needed. So 19 being held as a 17, -5 is a 12. 1-12, he will steal it. And he stole it. So there you go, stolen base. So we take chances here on this channel. I don't let a little thing like a -5 arm deter me. Stolen base for Marty Barrett. Let's see what he's done on stolen bases on both the season and on the replay. He stole 15 bases real world, only got caught twice. This is only his 2nd steal of the season. So he's definitely behind the pace on his stolen bases. But he takes away a double play ground ball possibility and gets in scoring position as the time runs. So a lot of good things happen when you steal bases. And here is Wade Boggs. 4-6 for Witt is a strikeout. That is strikeout number 5. And this is one of the flaws in the 50-50 engine, is that Wade Boggs just struck out for the 37th time this season. He only had 48 all year, and we're only, a little over halfway through, not barely halfway through. So he's going to probably end up with about 60 or 70 strikeouts, which is going to be way above what he would normally do. But that's just, everything has a flaw. There's no perfect game out there. So you ride the good with the bad. Here's Jim Rice in the clutch. Rice will lose hits on 1-9, 2-11, and that's it. 1-9 and 2-11. 3-8 is going to be a walk, and that'll keep the inning going. And for Witt, that is walk number 2. So it's up to Greenwell in the clutch. Mike Greenwell. Clutch for Greenwell. He loses a hit on 2-3 and 2-8. Greenwell 0 for 2. 1-8 for Greenwell. Make him 0 for 3 as he grounds to Schofield. And that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. Score still California 3 and Boston 2. Nipper back out, and he'll be facing the top of the order, Brian Downing. Downing, single and a run scored in his last trip. There's a 2-5, and that's another single, leadoff single for Brian Downing. Sends up Devon White. 1-4 for White. That's a ground ball second base A, and that's going to be another Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. 4-6-3 ground ball second base A on that 1-4. Quickly 2 outs. For Wally World, and Wally World is 0 for 2 in this game. 4-11. Ground ball first base X, and Buckner's a 4-E-13. 4-15, he'll get to it. E-13 at first base. E-13, he's got to avoid 11, 13, and 17. Those are the numbers to miss. And he 14, he barely does. So he'll get it and flip the nip recovering to end the inning. So we played 5 in Anaheim. Score still California 3 and Boston 2. It'll be Dwight Evans, who singled and doubled in this game. He will lead things off for the Red Sox. 3 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Angels. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. Although no errors by the Angels, that pass ball did create an unearned run. 5-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Jack Howell. He came over, moved from left to third with the injury to the sensei. So a 3-E-16 for Howell. 3 and a 3, that's going to get through for a hit. 3 and a 3 is a single. E-16, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 7, 14, 16, and 18. 12 is just fine. No error there, but it will be a base hit for Dewey Evans. He's 3 for 3. He's definitely bucking for the All-Star game, no question about it. Here's Bill Buckner. 5-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. Possible double play. 2-E-12. They were not holding Evans on, so he keeps the 2 range. A 2 and a 5 might just be a G2. Actually, 2 and a 5 is a G. 2 and a 5 is a G3. So only play will be the first. The error chance is an E12 at short. Got to avoid 15, 3, and 18, which he does. So it's a 6-3 ground out with Evans taking second base. Like a pseudo sacrifice. 1 out for Spike Owen. That is a 6-12. That's a ballpark blast, but he's got weak power. It's a 1-12. It would tie the game with a single if we got a 1-12. And it does. Base hit. Owen would have been a home run, but he's got weak power. But it does translate to a single, 2 stars. And the game is tied at 3 apiece. Little Spike Owen comes through with a run batted in. His 16th on the replay. And that'll bring up Mark Sullivan. It's a 1-7, and he struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Witt. And now we're back to the top of the order for Ellis Burks. Burks, 0 for 3, strikeout and 2 flyouts to right field. 4-6, and that's going to be another strikeout for Witt, his 7th. So we are tied at 3 apiece as we head to the bottom of the 6th here in Anaheim. And this is the fatigue inning for Al Nipper. So keep an eye on him. He's got that 6 right there for fatigue. He'll be facing Howell, Jones, and Boone. 2-6 for Howell, struck him out. Howell has got the hat trick now, all 3 strikeouts. So he's had a rough game of it. That'll bring up Rupert Jones. Jones had a big 2-run double his first time up. 2-4, and this time he grounds it back to Nipper. 2 down, and that's going to send us to Bob Boone. 5-4, and that's a ballpark single check. It's a 1-5. And Boone will end up popping up to Boggs to end the inning. So 6 innings have been completed here in Anaheim. The score is tied at 3. So a much closer game than the real world 9-4 would have indicated. And this is the fatigue inning for Mike Witt. He has that number 7 right there. So we'll keep an eye on him. It's going to be Barrett, Boggs, and Rice. Heart of the order for the Red Sox against Witt. Barrett is 2 for 2, a run scored and a stolen base. 3-9 for Barrett, and that's another base hit. Barrett 3 for 4. Stole a base last time. But I think with Boggs, Rice, and Greenwell coming up and nobody out, we'll leave him there. If there's 1 out, I try to get him in scoring position. With nobody out, we're going to let the hitters see what they can do. That's what they're paid the big bucks to do. Here's Wade Boggs. 5-10, and that's a catcher X. We're looking at Boone. He's a 1. 1-16 as a catcher. Probably some sort of a foul out. 1-16 is a foul out, not some sort of foul out, but it is a foul out. Assuming there's no error. He's an E14, though. So E14, he's got to avoid 12, 16, 17, and 18, which he does. So it's going to be a foul out by Boggs to Boone. 1 away for Jim Rice. 2-7 for Rice, and that is a single to center field. Barrett could try to make third. It would be huge to get to third base. He's a 15. He was being held, makes him a 14, but the +1 arm is a 15. So 1-15, he's going to third. 1-15, he is in there. And he's out going to third. What a throw by Gary Pettis. So he is out 8-5, trying to take third base. And since Rice runs less than 13, he stays at first base. So the single by Rice, but an excellent throw by Gary Pettis. And Howell slaps on the tag. And Barrett out at third base. So now 2 outs and a runner at first instead of 1 out, runner first and second. And here is Mike Greenwell, but they wanted to get that runner to third with less than 2 outs. That would have been huge. Here's Greenwell. He's 0 for 3. 4-12, fly ball to center. Pettis is a 1, so we know he's going to get to it. E10 is the only question. E10 and a 6 for a center fielder. E10, there is no 6. There's 3, 4, 14, 16, and 18. So, and had he made it to third base, that would have been a sacrifice fly most likely, but didn't happen, and so the inning's over. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning stretch time here in Anaheim. Mike Witt will carry endurance into the 8th. Al Nipper, 1, 2, 3 in his endurance inning. He's got full endurance into this 7th inning. It'll be Schofield, Pettis, and McLemore due up. 5-7, and that's a ground ball to Barrett. He's a 2E11. 212, he'll get to it. E11, the only errors on a second baseman, E11, 15, 17, and 18. And so, 14, he just barely got it. So Barrett bobbles it a bit, but had enough time to recover and throw out Schofield for out number 1. 1 down for Gary Pettis, center fielder. 1-6 for Pettis. He flies to center. 2 down for Mark McLemore. 3-2 for McLemore. He's going to fly to center. So Nipper will keep going into the 8th. We played 7. It's still 3-3. It'll be Evans, Buckner, and Owen. Evans is 3 for 3, 2 singles, a double, and 2 runs scored. I would say that's a pretty good day so far for Mr. Evans. If we can get, a little closer here. Might be able to bump it up just a touch. All right, so here is Mr. Dwight Evans. 3-5 for Evans. He's going to draw a walk. And for Witt, that is his 3rd walk of the game. So leadoff walk, and those sometimes can come back to get you. As Mr. Buckner steps to the plate. 6-9, and that's a single to center field. Now the Angel bullpen starts to stir. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Mike Witt is tired. So he is fatigued as he gave up 2 hits in the previous inning and 2 base runners this inning. That makes him fatigued. Spike Owen is an A bunter, so this is one of these rare occasions where I will bunt because it just seems to make sense to do so. Because he's not a very good hitter, but he's an excellent bunter, and his out can move 2 runners into scoring position. So this is one of the rare cases where I will opt to bunt. So we'll get the bunt chart out. See where the bunt's going. 6, the bunt is going to go to the 3rd baseman, Jack Howell. Owen's an A bunter, becomes a B bunter with the corners in. So anything 9 or less is going to be a good bunt. That's a 6. So that's defense. Now the defense has the option. Under defense, it says, let's see here. The option to throw out the lead runner. Compute the lead runner safe range as, let's see here. What does it say here? Running speed -2. Well, that's for suicide squeeze. I don't want suicides. I don't want squeezes. I just want the actual thing here. Lead runners run rating is 1 to 14. I don't want suicide squeeze. I just want the actual thing here. So the run rating of Evans is a 12. 12. You can see I don't bunt much. That's why I don't know much about this chart. Let's see here. 1 to 12. The defense for Howell, he's a 3. That would make it a 15 for his safe range. And then I believe you do a -4, but don't quote me on that. You know what? We're just going to go ahead and oh, you know what? I should be up here. You're right. Should be up. I was reading the squeeze thing. That's why I didn't. You could tell my unfamiliarity with this part of the chart because I never bunt. So, yeah, -4. That's what I thought was -4. So basically, it's the running speed of 12, and we're going to add to that running speed of 12. I'm sorry, we're going to subtract rather -4. So 12 minus 4 is an 8, and then the defense, we're going to add the defense rating, which is a 3 for an 11. So 1 to 11 is the safe range. So on a 1 to 11, If they try for the lead dog, if it's a 1 to 11, they get the lead dog Evans at third. But if it's a 12 or higher, the bases will be loaded with nobody out. Man, that is a tough call right there. Tough call. 1 to 11, the bases will be loaded with nobody out. Or you can take the shore out. Or 12 to 20, you get the lead dog. 55% chance for him being safe. And that I never trust the D20. Man. If Howell fields it, that means Schofield would be, moving over to cover third. So it would be a 6-5 put out at third base. If we a 5-6 put out at third base, rather, if we went that way. I'm gonna throw for the lead dog. We're gonna try to get Evans at third base. Need a 12 to 20 to come up. That's all you can do. It's pretty much a coin flip. Oh, it was a 15 and it rolled over to the 7 at the last minute. So everybody's going to be safe. It's going to be considered a fielder's choice, and everybody's safe. Bases are loaded now. The bases are loaded for Mark Sullivan, and the Angel bullpen is just about ready to come in. Mike Witt is fatigued. So let's go to the bullpen, see who's got the best rest of anybody. And it looks like the Moon Man, Greg Minton, might be the guy, or it could be Dwayne Bice. Well, you got their choice here. They're going to go to the Moon Man, Greg Minton. Greg Minton's going to come on for the Angels to try to get out of a serious mess here. Bases loaded. Bases are loaded. Let's look at the numbers on Minton. The numbers on Minton. Real world, Greg Minton, 5-4, a 3.08 ERA in the real season. He also garnered 10 saves in the 87 season. On the replays, 2-3 with 3 saves and a 2.12 ERA, 34 innings pitched, 29 hits, 8 walks, 24 strikeouts. And Mark Sullivan is your batter. The infield will play in for the Angels. They want to get the run at the plate this late in the game. They're going to play infield in, where the first play on a potential double play would be the home plate to get the force. They could pinch hit for Sullivan here, but you also lose that pitcher-catcher symmetry, for lack of a better term. So I think they're going to let Sullivan hit. That's a 3-8, and that's a strikeout. First strikeout from Minton in a huge one, but he's far from being out of the woods. You've got Ellis Burks and Marty Barrett coming up. Double play would get him out of the inning, but Ellis Burks is not really a double play candidate that much. So the infield's still going to be in as Minton faces Burks. 4-10, and that's a fly ball center field X. Pettis is a 1. He's going to get to it, but will it be a sacrifice fly or not is the question. As a 1 outfielder, he has to get a F3 to prevent a sacrifice fly, which means he's got to get a 14 or higher. Anything 13 or less, the run's going to score. That's an 18, so it will be an F3, assuming there's no error. He is an E10, though. So he's got to avoid 3, 4, 14, 16, and 18, which he does. So it's a shallow fly to center field by Ellis Burks. Not deep enough to score the run. Minton gets 2 of the first 3 outs he needs, but now he's got to deal with Marty Barrett, who is 3 for 4 on the day, and it's also a clutch situation. But Barrett does lose hits in the clutch. 112, 2-8, 3-5, and 3-8, all anti-clutch results. And that's a 1. Minton now might throw a wild pitch. Check Minton's wild pitch rating. A wild pitch rating from Minton is a 5. So 1 to 5, and Minton throws a wild pitch that puts the Red Sox in the lead. He does not. It's blocked by Boone. So here's Barrett. 1-7 for Barrett, and that's a ground ball to short, and that'll do it. Minton pitches out of the mess. How do you like that? Minton. Stellar job for Greg Minton. And now we can get the numbers on Witt since the inning is over. Figure out what those final tallies would be. Go into the box score. Get those final numbers on Mr. Witt. So Witt will get a no decision. Could have taken a loss, but he's going to get a no decision. He's going to go 7. He's going to go 7+. He's going to give up 11 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And of course, Minton will come back and pitch the 9th inning as well. Al Nipper back out. He has retired 6 in a row since reaching his fatigue inning, so he's going to stay with it against Brian Downing. Downing 2 for 3. That is a 1-9, and that's a ground ball to short. Spike Owen is there. 1 down. We'll cap Nipper at 8 innings regardless. Probably, I would think. Here's Devon White. 6-9, and that's a ground ball to second. Maybe not. Maybe we'll let him pitch him to the 9th. Kind of hard to take him out right now, actually. So here's Joyner. 3-5 for Joyner, and that's a walk. 2-out walk to Joyner. That is walk number 3 on the game for Nipper. And now he'll face Jack Howell, left fielder. Boston bullpen is stirring a little bit. Joe Sanvito, a left-hander, is loosening in their bullpen. Nipper to Howell. 6-5, and that is an in-home run chance, 1-18. This could do him in right here, 1-18, and it's gone. A 2-run home run from Jack Howell, who makes up for his 3 strikeouts, all in 1 at bat, with a clutch 2-out home run off of Al Nipper to give the Angels the lead. Jack Howell, that is home run number 9 on the replay. He had 23 real world. But there you go. That 6-5 got to him. That took it to Nipper right there. And the Angels now take a 5-3 lead. And here's Rupert Jones, 4-4. And that's a strikeout for Nipper to end the inning. But it doesn't matter. Not after the 2-run home run off the bat of Jack Howell. So we can close the book on Nipper. He may very well get a complete game going the 8 innings, but he's going to give up 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He's going to walk 3, and he's going to strike out 4. And Minton now. Do they go to Minton for a 2nd inning, or do they go to, let's see, we got Boggs, Rice, and Greenwell. Got a couple lefties coming up here. Wonder if they might go to the lefty out of the bullpen just to play the percentages. Let's look at their bullpen, see if any lefties are available. There are 2 on the roster, Gary Lucas and Chuck Finley. Chuck Finley is tired. Lucas is not. They could go to Gary Lucas. They're going to go to Gary Lucas. They're going to play the percentages. They're going to Gary Lucas out of the bullpen. Minton did stellar work, but they're going to go to Lucas for the bullpen. Try to wrap this up against these lefties that are coming up for the Red Sox. Gary Lucas. Let's get the numbers on Lucas. They also had Dwayne Bice loosening in the bullpen just in case Lucas runs into trouble. Look at the numbers on Lucas. He was 1-5 with a 3.63 ERA, and he had 3 saves real world. On the replays, 2-1 with 3 saves and a 3.03 ERA. 39 innings pitched, 30 hits, 18 walks, 27 strikeouts. And Lucas will be facing Boggs, Rice, and Greenwell. But if he doesn't go 1, 2, 3, they're going to have Bice ready to face Evans. But they're going to give Lucas a chance against the lefty Boggs. Top of the 9th, 5-3, California. That's a 2-11. And as they pop up to third base, big first out to get for Lucas. One away, and here's Jim Rice. That is a 6-10, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Howell. He's a 3 E16. 3 and a 14, he's got that. E16 at third base. E16 at third base, he's got to avoid 3, 4, 7, 14, 16, and 18. And that is a 15, which I think is going to be just fine. There's a 14 and a 16 there, but no 15. So Howell will make the play. 2 down. And here comes Greenwell, unless they want to pinch hit for Greenwell, which I think they will. With the lefty on the mound, they're going to go to Don Baylor off the bench. Pinch hit. So Don Baylor will pick up a bat and hit for Greenwell. Here in the top of the 9th, last chance for the Red Sox. Don Baylor. Let's bring him on in the computer to see how he's done on the replay. Baylor on the replay is hitting 226, 8 homers, 41 driven in. He hit 245 real world. 6-7, and that is a ground ball shortstop X rather. So Schofield has a chance to wrap it up. He's a 2E12. 219 is good. E12, he just has to avoid 3, 15, and 18. Just have to avoid those 3 numbers, and the game's over. And he does. That's a 14, so he barely does it, but he does it, and that's the ball game. Gary Lucas gets the save. That'll be his 4th of the replay. The win to Witt. The win goes to Minton, not Witt. The win goes to Greg Minton. Win goes to Minton. The loss goes to Nipper. He's 5-9. We'll get the totals and get you ready for tomorrow's game. 5-3, the final. 5 runs, 7 hits, and no errors for the Angels. 3 runs, 11 hits, and no errors for the Red Sox. We'll go to the box score, total everything up, and get you ready for tomorrow's game in Oakland between the Tigers and the A's. So going to the box score. Angels improved to 41-43 as they get close to that 500 mark. Minton with the win goes to 3-3. Of course, the 4th save for Lucas, and the tough luck loss to Nipper. He drops to 5-9. One of the things that caused the Red Sox heartache is they left 11 runners on base. Angels only left 3, but there were a whole lot of left on bases. Plus, they had 1 runner thrown out at third base. So that the left on bases can tend to get you. And they got the Red Sox here, and that's why they're the Red Sox, and that's why they're 36-47. Why California is now 41-43. So going to the standings in the American League West, California now, with the win, pulls to within 8.5 of Oakland. They are 41-43. They're only 2 games off their real pace, which was 43-41. But now Detroit plays Oakland tomorrow in a pretty important game in the standings. Detroit versus Oakland. from Oakland Coliseum, it'll be Frank Tanana, the cagey left-hander for the Tigers, against Joaquin Andujar for the Oakland A's. That will be tomorrow. We'll play Toronto and Texas, as well as Seattle, Milwaukee. Those will be played offline, but those games will get priority for next week. So that's going to do it from here. Tonight, the Rockies replay. We pick that back up. Rockies won last night to end the road trip. They come home for 7 games. First 4-game series is against the Phillies. So they're going to take on the Phillies tonight at Coors Field. That will be tonight. Tomorrow, we will have the opening round of or it might be today. I haven't decided. I might do it later today. The opening round of the U.S. Open, 2025 U.S. Open on History Maker Golf from Oakmont Country Club. We'll have the first 2 rounds where they do the cut. Do that today. Do the third round, and we'll do that and the first 3 rounds, actually, the cut and the third round. Do that today and get everybody set up for or I might do it tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. And get everybody set up for the Sunday final. But from here, it is the California Angels, courtesy of Jack Howell. He was the GOAT for 7 innings with 3 strikeouts, but he hit a 2-run home run off of Al Nipper in the bottom of the 8th inning to give the Angels their final margin of victory, and the Angels take advantage. So that's going to do it from here. Yes, Dr. D, I play the game as I do it. I just don't broadcast it, but I play it. I don't usually keep score on the paper. I have the cards out and just manually enter into the computer as I play it. So yes, I don't sim it. I do actually play it, yes. If I'm real lazy, I'll play the game on the computer and not, and not even have the cards out. If I'm lazy, that's very rare that I do that. But most of the time, I'll just play it on the computer. I'll have the cards in front of me, but I don't have the score sheet in front of me because I don't feel like if nobody's going to see it, then what's the point? So anyway, yes, score sheets do take time, absolutely. And when you're running a long replay, time savers are lifesavers, in my opinion. So that's going to do it from here. And I've already started looking in advance at the potential American League All-Star team, and there are some tough choices to make. There's going to be some good players not on the list, that's for sure. Tough calls to make on these All-Star teams, particularly at certain positions. There's particularly shortstop. There's like 4 guys that are definitely worthy of it, but probably only going to have 3 of them. So one of them is going to miss. And it's going to be a tough break for one of them, but we'll have to wait. I mean, you've got Greg Gagne, you've got Tony Fernandez, you've got Alan Trammell, and you've got Dale Swain. All 4 of those excellent replay numbers, well over 300 with power. Well, except for Fernandez, he didn't have the power, but the rest of them have the power. So Fernandez may end up being the one left out. I don't know. Strat-O-Matic computer, if you go into their stats, they give you a mock all-star team, but I may use that as a guide, but I'm really going to have to look at it myself. But anyway, I've also got to look up the actual all-star roster because I want to keep the same number of players. I don't want to have more players than what they had real world, and also want to do the same number of pitchers as well. The only thing I'm certain of is Jimmy Key is going to start the All-Star game. That's the only thing I know for a fact because he has earned that from his first half performance. But there'll be a lot of other players out there that are worthy as well. So tomorrow, we're in Oakland, Detroit, and the A's. And then tonight, we'll be in Colorado for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Colorado Rockies. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.